NBA, we run the floor on a night where Danny Green got his ring from last year's Lakers NBA title. He knocked down 8 threes, scored 28 against his former team, and those Sixers knock off the Lakers for their 4th straight win, 109-101. It is the Lakers' 4th straight loss. Elsewhere, Portland and Miami went down to the wire, closing seconds of the 4th. Ultimately, it's the Blazers who prevail. Behind who else? Dame Lillard fouled on a three-point attempt with 1 second left. He made all 3, and the Blazers win at 125-122. Over to Sacramento, Kings took on the Warriors. No Steph Curry. He sat for his 4th straight game. No Draymond Green. He was a scratch before the game. And though the Kings dominate, De'Aaron Fox a career-best 44, they rout the shorthanded.
Big Kirk, where are you? And wait for it.
There we go.
I hear that. There he is. Okay, confirm that you're there. How we doing, Perk? Good to see you. I'm actually going to start with you for a change. Tell me this. Are you surprised that the Lakers stayed put during this and didn't make any moves?
Yeah, Molly, I am surprised. I mean, have anybody watched the Lakers lately since LeBron James been out? I mean, last night I'm watching the game, and they was shooting the ball so hard, it was hitting off the glass so hard, I started ducking in my house. I mean, listen, I said this, when LeBron went out, this was going to be an audition for the Lakers supporting cast to show what they were made of. And right now, I'm afraid. If you're a Laker fan, you should be afraid right now. You should be concerned. And I thought that yesterday, the Lakers should have been a little bit aggressive for us pursuing and making trades right now, because what I'm seeing on the floor is just not working. Dennis Schroeder, he's not playing to the level that everyone thought or expected him to play, including myself. I mean, I don't know, what's happening as far as the contract situation. Sometimes that could mess with your head. Right now, guys like Caldwell Pope are not shooting the ball like they should be. He's not performing well. Marcus Gasol is not living up to what they thought he was going to be. And I thought that the Lakers needed to make a move yesterday or do something, because right now what we're witnessing is that the others are just not getting it. So with losing Rajon Rondo, losing Dwight Howard, losing JaVale McGee, I thought, hey, right now looking at this roster, the Lakers have to do something.
Well, what specifically do you think they should have done, KP?
Well, I mean, listen, I said this. They should have probably went got JaVale McGee, and I understand the rules, right? That when a team trades you, you're not eligible to come back unless it goes through another team, and you have to go through all these different scenarios. Well, we all know in the world of NBA, GMs owe GMs a favor. So I thought maybe they could have worked out something with Cleveland where they got JaVale McGee traded, got him to another team, got him waived, and then they picked him up in the buyout market. I thought yesterday that they should have been ultimate, and it should have been really, really aggressive trying to get Kyle Lowry. I thought they really should have went out and tried to pursue him and basically persuade Masai Ujiri to hey, we ready to make something happen, because here it is. The Lakers get Kyle Lowry, the whole narrative changed, and guess what? The league gets scared. All right, Kyle Lowry, LeBron James, and Anthony Davis on the floor at one time. That's something to be worried about. So I thought they should have tried to go out, and not saying that they're not gonna try to get Andre Drummond in the buyout market, but they should have definitely pursued Kyle Lowry yesterday.
Well, a couple of things. Number one, you could have mentioned Lonzo Ball too, but
that's where I was going.
But we all know that they don't want LeVar Ball making headlines because of the Lakers again. Then you got Kyle Lowry. The problem with Kyle Lowry is that he wanted 2 additional years at $50 million, 25 per, even though he just turned 35. And there's a lot of teams throughout the NBA that's going to be reluctant to give him that money. So it'll be real interesting to see what happens with him in the offseason. All right. As a result of LeBron going down, here's the only thing that I would say, KP. There ain't no replacing LeBron James. There's no replacement for him. And so you know that he's going to be back in about a month or so. You know that he's not 100% healthy. You know that it's an audition, just like you said, about that supporting cast. But it's really about them upping their game. Let's face reality. None of us looked at the Lakers and expected them to win, but so much without LeBron James and AD. They're champions and they're favorites this year because of LeBron and AD. Without them, they'd be in a lottery, and we all know.
But even with them, Brooklyn's big three, if they're all healthy, I don't see them losing.
No,
I think
I got
the Lakers.
Brooklyn winning the
and the
chip.
Kyle Lowry move, I get it, Perk, but when you have to match salaries, you're still not giving Masai anything he wanted. And we know what I notice? You know who's still a Laker today? And I think this is what scuttled the deals? Taylor Horton-Tucker, who's only 21 years old. I think the league likes him a lot. I think Masai Ujiri liked him. I think the Lakers didn't want to give him up, and they'd have to give up everything they've got to get Lowry. They wouldn't have a bench. They wouldn't have a rotation. Lonzo is the question. I get that Daddy can make problems off the court, maybe they think, for them, but Perk, Lonzo with LeBron and AD works to me, and I think that's a mistake. They should have pursued him.
Yeah, but and I'm not taking nothing from Lonzo, but Lonzo needed to, in my opinion, Lonzo need to go to a team where he's going to have the ball in his hand, where he's going to be able to be that floor general. I'm not saying that he can't play off the ball, because he can, but that's not his strength. Okay, so when I'm looking at a guy that the Lakers need to fill in that gap, a team that's on the rise, that's trying to repeat to get a championship, you don't want to go with someone that haven't made the playoffs. You want to go with someone that's battle tested. That's why I said Kyle Lowry. I mean, this is a champion. This is a guy that have been in multiple rounds of the playoffs, multiple series.
So would you have made the deal? So Perk, hold on. Would you have traded Schroeder and KCP, because now you got to make the salaries work, right? And Taylor Horton-Tucker and someone else to make the salaries work, because they wanted THT. That's who they really wanted. Would you have traded 4 dudes off the team for Kyle Lowry?
I thought it was 3 to make the salaries work. I mean, I thought it was 3.
Right, to make it work. But then that's right. That's just to make the salaries work. But Masai wanted Taylor Horton-Tucker, right? And the Lakers didn't want to give him up. Would you have given him up with the other 3 players?
I mean, listen, this is why I'm not a GM, but yeah, I would have made the move. Because here it is. The Lakers are trying to win now. And we all know with Dennis Schroeder, they've been going through contract situations. You know, the Lakers did put out contract extensions, and he didn't turn them down. So, like yesterday, I was telling Richard Jefferson on the jump, right? He was saying, would you give up all that for Kyle Lowry, who's the rental, right? And I said, well, right now, Dennis Schroeder is a rental. He's a rental because he hasn't signed a contract extension. You don't know if he's going to re-sign back with the Lakers. So, I mean, you got to pick your poison. What are you trying to do? And I think if you have a champion, the greatest Raptor of all time sitting there, right there, a game changer, one of the best floor generals in the game today, Kyle Lowry, the ultimate leader, the ultimate competitor. You got a chance to grab him and throw him in the mix with LeBron James and Anthony Davis when they get back healthy. I think you got to go all in for it.
Go ahead, Molly.
Okay, yeah, we'll keep it moving. The Clippers made a major addition to their team yesterday by acquiring Rajon Rondo from the Hawks. Rondo already has won titles with the Celtics and Lakers and has been given the name Playoff Rondo for the way he turns it in the postseason. Perk, where do you rank the Clippers now among the West favorites?
Well, they number one, and here's why. Clippers were missing one thing: a leader, a floor general. And I said it in the offseason that they needed to go out and sign Rondo in the free agency, but they didn't. And they went got him and made it and went picked him up before the trade deadline. Was a huge pickup, because the reason that the Clippers struggle at times is because Kawhi and PG don't have their legs in the fourth quarter, because they're asked to do something that they're not used to doing, and that's being playmakers, bringing the ball up the floor, getting guys in sets. That's not what they do. They get buckets, and on the defensive end, they lock you up. Now adding Rajon Rondo takes pressure off of everyone. Kawhi, PG, Ty Lue, everyone. He is the ultimate leader. You need that guy in that locker room. Just remember, right? We all thought last year, and I'm not taking anything from Kyle Kuzma, with the Lakers, we thought that it was Anthony Davis, LeBron James, and Kyle Kuzma as a mini big three. Well, it turned out to be Anthony Davis, LeBron James, and Rajon Rondo when it mattered the most. Rajon Rondo is the one that stepped up in the finals and delivered in great fashion. So we all know what he's capable of doing. He's one of the best floor generals that this game has saw, and the Clippers definitely upgraded by acquiring him yesterday before the trade deadline. So the Clippers right now rank #1 in the Western Conference.
I agree with everything you just said about Rondo. He is not just by reputation, but in fact an all-star when it matters most in the playoffs. And that gives him 3 all-stars when it matters most. It'll probably also help Paul George, who needs the help under pressure, and not make Kawhi into something he's really not, point forward. That's not really him. They also still have Batum and Patrick Beverley and Reggie